listen to this. Listen. I mean it, listen. That's one of the biggest problems we have in the world when it comes to communication. We just don't listen. If you run a family or are involved in a relationship or depend on others to get things done, basically, if you're anyone in the world who needs to communicate, that's anyone, then if you want to do better in relationships, you need to learn to listen. And one of the biggest issues I found is that people don't know how to listen. They listen, for example, critically, which means they're looking for some kind of thing to criticize, to find blame. You could be an emotional listener who only looks at responding to emotions and is in tune with your emotions and the other person's emotions, but you miss the facts and logic. There are different issues with regards to listening, which we all need to learn, but there's one particular area I want to focus on this morning at the end of the week on Friday, which is if you're a person who listens to groups of people, so you're an executive, a leader of people, a manager of people, or a team leader, anyone in that position, if you're running around your department, your office, your shop, whatever it may be, your brokerage, and you're seeing smiling faces, you may say to yourself, well, everybody's okay. And it's a great day. It's going to be a fantastic weekend because it's Friday. But the truth of the matter is that probably you're not listening. There's such a thing in leadership and managing people there's a thing we call an information bubble, where people, for various reasons, withhold information from their leadership. So they may be unhappy with certain things, with things such as relationships, processes, systems that your organization needs to follow, decisions that were taken, and a whole host of different things. There could be difficulties in relationships between people. It's you, if you're in an information bubble, you won't see that. In fact, if you run around thinking everybody's happy because you see smiling faces, then you're probably already in trouble. And one of the things that leaders need to do, leaders of people, and by the way, this could also be a family, you need to learn to listen actively. In other words, you're looking for comprehension and understanding what's behind it all. One of the ways you can do that is by managing by walking about. Managing by walking about is literally not being in your office, but actually being with your people, listening to what they're doing, observing, getting involved and asking questions. And when you do ask questions and you communicate, you listen for understanding or comprehension. Active listening means that yes, you nod your head and you observe the person's body language to see, are they withholding information? This is something else they'd like to talk about. You ask interesting questions to the person to show you're really listening. You see, an information bubble creates most of the problems because if that's the case, usually the person who can take the decisions and has control over situations like yourself, if you're leading an organization or a team, are often then the last person to find out that there's a problem because you're not listening. So executives, leaders of people, team leaders, managers of people, you need to learn to listen. And the moment that you find yourself thinking, everything's okay because you see happy, smiley faces everywhere, you're probably in trouble and you're stuck in an information bubble. So share this with another executive or a leader of people, or maybe with your boss if you think they need to hear it because they're not listening to you. And let's hope we can together make a difference. Have a great weekend.